Hello, Flash Dagger here, getting straight into the qualifying for round 3 of the GT World Series 2024 Nations Cup official season. Now, this is a very interesting race with a number of quirks that make it very different from one that maybe you're familiar with. If you're used to seeing my driving, if you've watched me on stream, for example, then you may see me drive in a way that you're not used to, and that could be very interesting and entertaining. So you can judge for yourself. So the race itself is Trial Mountain, which is not new to us. However, it's different in that we are using a range of cars that are pre-selected, road car classics, that are pre-tuned by Polyphony Digital, and therefore you could not practice. So anyone doing this race, they're doing it for the very first time. Now, the biggest difference with this race is that slipstream has been turned all the way up to 11. Flash, couldn't they have just made 10 more powerful? Like I said, slipstream is on 11, right? Okay, so slipstream is very, very strong. That is going to have a major impact on not just how you drive the race, but your strategy for the race. And despite there being no pit stop, there is strategy in this race, and you will see how that unfolds. Now, in practice, even leading up to the actual race itself, you can see the countdown timer in this footage. I was able to put in, without a ghost, a 202.0, which was only a tenth and a half off my very best time of a 201.8, which I was very happy with. Now, in live qualifying, I would have been happy with anything from a 202.0 to a 202.3. Somewhere in that range should have been solid. Now, as you can see, we're bringing round our live lap now, our flying lap, and our first lap we're able to get a 202.4, which isn't great. It's off the pace. I was nervous, I wasn't pushing as hard. It is provisional pull. We go on for our second flying lap, but unfortunately it's really no better. In fact, it's a tenth worse. We don't improve. But when all is said and done, we're going to be starting in third position in this GT World Series race. It's a full A+ lobby, and we got 333 points on offer for the winner. So it's all to play for. With that said, let's get straight into the intro. And that's enough of that. Right, getting into this race. Here we go in 3, 2, 1, away we go. Just remembering, this is the first time that any of us are actually driving with full fuel weight or tire wear. Nobody has had the ability to practice, so this first corner is incredibly important. A lot of people have made a mistake, and we're all just taking it very, very easy, just coasting through. We can see P2 there, he's getting a little bit out of shape. We'll keep an eye on him throughout the race. Blub. Now, as we just make our way through the tunnel, coming over the crest of the hill, you can get a lot of destabilization there as you pull off to the left, having lost a lot of weight in the car coming over the crest off that hill. But this race is very much about strategy, even though there is no pit stop per se, or tire change or fuel saving. There's still an exceptional amount of strategy, and that strategy will play a part in how I drive, and hopefully I'm able to take on board some of the advice and put into practice some of the advice I've been given. So you can see here, I'm pulling off the side. I don't want to make an overtake, but I see that P1 and P2 really at this very early stage are wanting to get into a bit of a battle, a bit of a certain dominance. You see, I just make a little lift here, a little comfort lift to say, look, I don't want to get involved in this side by side for the bottleneck. I get onto the brakes, and I see these guys have carried side by side through the entire last sector, and they're still at it. And you can see in the little radar there, I have to dive in here to the inside of the apex. No contact made, but that wasn't an attacking move, because I'm backing out now. That was a defensive move, because it's kind of kill or be killed in this race. And if you are not making an overtake, you're going to get overtaken. And I'm just really trying to position myself in such a way to avoid myself getting overtaken or put into compromising positions whereby And you can see here again, still they're side by side. Now this is where I do something I wouldn't ordinarily do. And you just have a look at this and see now. They're side by side, they've slowed each other down. I have the overspeed and I'm making the pass. I go for it, I make it clean. Okay? And I'm being a lot more assertive in this race than what I normally would. If you've watched me race in my streams, you will see I'm generally quite passive. I don't even defend. I very rarely go for an overtake unless it's completely 100% on. These two at the front, as far as I'm concerned, they were doing their battling at the wrong stage of the race. There's 3 stages to the race. The first stage is get away, see who's going to be part of the battle, see who has the pace, string it out, see who can keep up. Stage 2, work together, break away, and stage 3 is your battle for the win with who's remaining at the front. So you'll see again here as we come up behind the Russian. Normally I would bump draft, but I can't, because if I bump draft, you can see in the radar, I'm going to lose 5 or 6, 7 miles an hour. So I actually go for the overtake there, because the safer place to be is actually at the front, controlling it, especially going through this sector. So we've seen Mario Sonic, the real hero of this race, the only one who actually chose anything other than the OP BMW, coming through there in P2 in the lime green. Now, we've actually taken this section very, very well. We were actually, beginning to start creating a little bit of a gap between ourselves and the other group. Now, it isn't a large gap at this stage, but it is growing with every corner. And that comes down to the lack of compliance. Look at that corner, they're all coming in, they're slowing each other down, and we now have over a second gap. Now that's good ordinarily. However, in regards to this particular race, it's around about 2 seconds slipstream. So here we are in lap 3, we've got clean air, we've had no slipstream, and we're really just pushing the pace to the best of our abilities to try and get that gap up above 2 seconds. Try and get that to create the gap and avoid giving slipstream to the guys chasing us down. Now you can see that the German has made his way back up to P2. He is still in slipstream there. You can see that visual there from the TV cameras. The gap still does exist. Mario Sonic in P3 in the lime green Lamborghini. But I think this is a good segue into talking about the advice that I was given, as we're going to come across a line in a 202.8, which incidentally would have gotten us P5 in qualifying. Super GT himself took the time to come into one of my streams a couple of months ago, and we're talking back and forth about a race we had, and the advice was you need to work on the consistency of your race pace. Now I've taken that to heart, and I have taken it constructively as intended, and I've really been working hard to improve my race pace, and I'm hoping that's been evident throughout the race and as we continue on throughout the race. Now as we come through here in lap 5, I can see he's closed down the gap and he's going to probably get me, but I come over the hill and we've just made a big mistake there. We can see we've lost the traction. That is such a tricky corner as you come over and lose the weight and stability of the car while pulling to the left. Now as we just speed it on through here, you can see the delta is really coming down. Now, I know he's going to be able to make a pass, but this guy, from what I've seen, does not like, he loves a battle, right? And I just want to see how he reacts whenever I say I'm not going to just give this for free. And he does very, very well. He gets the switcheroo on us and comes up. But I said, you know what, I'm not going to concede this. I'm not going to make it easy for you. I'll give you the space. I'll be very clean with you. But I want him to know that, you know, I am going to defend, and this being one of the most integral parts of the race, through the sector 2, through the bottleneck, and through that section onto the final straight, the race can be won or lost. We just go back and watch that again on a replay. So you'll see here, take the defensive line, I really just slightly overshoot the corner. He gets the switcheroo, but look at the respect given. You know, he hasn't tracked me out wide. I hold the inside line here, 2x2 through the bottleneck, hit the apex, and you know, little bit of contact, but nothing major there. You know, he's gone round the outside. It's a brilliant move, and you know, he's basically turned me inside out. So I've got enough information now. I've sort of been downloading and watching how this guy races, and saying to myself, right, I could see from the start of the race, this guy absolutely, he's very, very fast. He's clean, okay, he's fair. He gives the space, but he absolutely loves being in the lead. He does not like being overtaken. He wants to be leading this race. So I say fine. Like, there's a little bit of a bump draft for you in lap 7. I'm not going to compromise our race going through the S's side by side unless I'm going to commit to an overtake. And this stage, we've obviously got a bit of a gap between us. Now look at these visuals here. This is almost like synchronized driving. So close. And whenever you're carrying through these corners and you're going bumper to bumper to bumper and you're working with someone, it's really, really exciting. It's really, really good, and to have the confidence to drive with someone that close bumper to bumper is a great thing. So as we speed on through here, we're lap 7. We're now getting to a different stage of the race. You can see the gap is over 3 seconds now, so there's a little bit of time to play with. We're broken slip, and I'm going to pull out to the side and I'm going to make an overtake. Now this is slightly different. Now watch how I take this corner now. I park it in the apex because I know his moves now. I know what he does. I'm basically testing him to see what do I need to do to make sure that whenever it comes to the end of the race, whenever it comes to the last lap, how can I position myself in such a way that I can get through this sector first, because any decent driver who gets through this sector first has a very, very strong chance of winning. You want to hit that hairpin at the end of the straight first. Now watch this. Do I defend? Will he take the bait? Will he go for the move? What's he going? He's coming out and he's going for the overtake. No defense from me whatsoever. I thought that might be the case. He's taking the bait, hook, line and sinker. I basically wanted to see how he would react to being overtaken, and would he just tuck him behind me and say, hey, I'll let him lead for a few laps and try and take him in the last lap, or does he try and fight to get back ahead? And he done exactly that. So just coming into this braking zone, again, I just back off, don't bump draft him into the braking zone, and let him lead the race. And everything's going absolutely perfect until this point on lap 8, where I miss my brakes with the overspeed of slipstream, and we've now lost about 4 or 5 tenths. I was sitting pretty, I had everything lined up, I had the plan in my mind as to how this race was going to end, but unfortunately I've messed it up. Now thankfully I'm able to adjust the next lap, but we're now on to lap 9. We're now in a position whereby we're getting to the end of the race, and this is whereby, again, a mindset change. You've seen me be a little bit more aggressive with overtakes, you've seen me willing to lead the race, you've seen me willing to defend, which you maybe haven't seen before. And now is another example of my mindset shift as to how I'm racing. We're going to head on to the last lap here, but P1 has a 1 second advantage. P3 is, 3.5, 4 seconds behind or something. At this stage, the old me would have said, you know what, don't take any risks, okay? Don't risk anything. You've got a P2 in the bag, you'll get over 300 points. Just take it easy, just coast through, nothing risky, pick up the points and get home safe. However, that was not the approach I was going to take. I decided I'm going to send it, and that's exactly what I do. So I absolutely send it through here, but he's absolutely sent it as well. He's gaining some time on me. Why is he gaining time? He's pushed too hard. He's gone wide, and he's gone onto the grass, and he's going to have dirty tires. We're catching in now. 1 second. How's that delta going to come down to 9 tenths, 8 tenths, 7 tenths? We're right on him now. All we want to do is make sure we have patience. We don't want to get too close going onto the straight. We want to make sure we have enough of a gap to get that slingshot. Patience is incredibly important at this stage of the race. You can see we're feathering the throttle there, holding off, creating the gap. Patience, coast, power all the way out. And he's hit the wall, and we've got the gap, and we're going to get the pass done. On the last lap, we get the pass done. Unfortunately, he's gotten the penalty, but we would have got past him anyway. The overspeed was there. He had the dirty tires. He could not get the exit speed, and we're not going to wiggle. We're not going to go left or right. We're going to give him the slipstream because he fully deserves P2, and I genuinely want this driver to get P2 because he's done a fantastic race with me. He's been incredibly clean with me. You can see the blinkers coming on. You'll see him giving me the light flash, say keep going flash, take me to the line, no problem mate. We'll get round here and we're going to come on to the final straight and bring this one to the line. You can see me giving the blinkers again to say good race mate. I'm looking behind me because I genuinely want to give him slip. I want to make sure he gets to the line and get that position for P2 because he fully deserves it. I get the win, he gets P2. We've taken home a victory in the official season of Gran Turismo World Series 2024 for the 333 points. I hope you've enjoyed that race. I very much did. If you did, please consider hitting the like and subscribe button, and hopefully I can bring you some more exciting races. Take care. Bye bye.